Here we are, take 2 of trying to make the transmission crossmember mounts. Previously, a couple days ago, went through, made mounts that I was planning on welding to the floor pan. They matched up to the original crossmember, but then I started looking at it, I'm like, do I really want to trust my own work as it is? Weld this to the floor pan and hope my welding skills and everything are good enough to not burn through it and not cause this to be a breaking point. I didn't want to trust that. So I still have them, but we're going a different approach. And what I'm going to do is where the original crossmember mounted up for the T50, there's 2 bolt holes. I assume one for the automatic, one for the transmission, or one for the manual. What I'm going to do is use both those bolt holes on each side, build a rail out to mount up to the original transmission motor mount, or trans mount, the actual rubber part. With that said, let's go take a quick look of the plan, and then we'll get to actual making of parts. So yeah, let's go. So here we are. Cardboard on both sides of the car. We've got 2 bolt holes right here. The transmission mount is right there. You kind of see the nut sticking out. So I'm thinking L bracket, or it's more like just half square, whatever. I figure could cut here, drill holes, have it go out to about here, then use those same brackets, drill a hole through on both sides and weld a nut on the back to still give a place for this tranny mount to bolt into, and then just kind of make them join up nicely somewhere around here. I mean, I'm going to figure it out as I go, but that's my path. So I'm going to quickly just double check that the bolt line up here is mirror image over there, and then I'll get to drilling holes and all that jazz. Let's go. So here we are with the next step. What I'm going to do is drill a hole there, cut here, repeat the behavior over there, and then we'll come back with 2 of the initial braces for the transmission mount. Anyway, let me get it done. I apologize in advance for the lighting. So as you can see, this is replicated over there. Or yeah, there we go, on the driver's side. So what my plan is this goes about the length of where let's show you. Just loosely placing it there. These go about the length of where the bolt would go to hold this into the transmission mount. So what my plan is measure the distance between the ends here and make a box to enclose this, so right here, build a box or rectangle or whatever, so I can still have the bolt hole, or if I'm describing that well, whatever. Build a box around this, bolt it in to said box of whatever this length here is. So then that way I can mount this up with that box in here, position the transmission about where I want to, and then what my plan is tack it in to these bars wherever it positions at, then take it all off, weld it all pretty up. Well, not pretty, who are we kidding? But weld it up, and then theoretically that should be all I have to do. Make the box, tack weld up to this thing, and blah blah. Anyway, So yeah, I'm gonna get to making the box for this, and then I'll show you guys when I'm done. So here we are with the little box thing I was telling you about. I've got it set up because this way, because the mount needs to be facing the front of the car. I need a nut here that I'm going to weld onto this metal. And what my plan is as I showed you earlier, I don't know if you can see it, but I'm going to mount this up to the transmission, lower the transmission, get the bars under there lined up with here. What my plan is to bring the welder over, tack those bars mounted onto the sides here just to hold it enough, and then pull it all out and weld it all up together. And I will plan on securing this up a little, like throwing another piece of metal right here and right here, maybe cap it off on the top or bottom. That I haven't figured out, but right now the main goal is the structure, you know, just the template of the structure. So I'm going to do that real quick because there's really horrible lighting under there. So yeah, we'll be back shortly. So here we are, rough framework, all the bolts, everything got lined up. I threw some shoddy ass tack work down there, so there'll be some grinding, but not enough that I care. What my plan is, weld in here so there's no little flex. Then I mean, that's really it, is you know, sure it up, bolt it back up, and see if we're all good. Hopefully not much change has to happen. And I'll be back after I weld some of this stuff up and clean up labels and such. Warning, the following scenes may cause cringe for people who know how to weld, have experience with welding, and are good at it. With that said, I am not good at it. I shake and yada yada yada. I will continue to improve, but I will never be a great welder. With that said, this is what we're looking at for my cross member, or a transmission mount cross member thingy. I've still got to clean up, but I'm really just going to be removing all the, slag, things like that. Got a lot of booger welds and so on and so forth. They don't look pretty. I feel they will hold. I was able to get proper penetration on a number of my welds. So yeah, it looks ugly, but I do feel this can hold the transmission, considering it's not going to be putting a lot of weight. I'll find out if it breaks later, but here's where we're at. I will come back after I've just cleaned it up a little, you know, wire brush, a little bit of hammering, and some spray paint. So yeah, this is where we're at. And yeah, so good luck. If you didn't like it, I warned you. Feel free to comment, but my hand shakiness is never gonna make it better. Anyway, we'll be back. Here she is, looking all black and shiny, but you know, you get up in the booger welds, they're still there. I feel like this will work, but in the meantime, because I've got 3 hours before I'm supposed to touch it, I feel like since my goal of this video is to rest the car back on the ground, I'm gonna quickly reassemble whatever that rod is that goes from the control arm to the front of the car. I suck with terms, I'll get over it. But yeah, I'm gonna go do that real quick, and then we'll be back when we're actually going to install that little part. So yeah, let's go. So here we are at the end of me trying to make a custom part. So, little angle bracket, 2 bolts, A little bit of box in there. Original 350Z transmission mount. And just boxed in. I might secure this thing more. I don't know if you can tell over there, but there's another angle bracket. And yeah, it seems to sit about where I want. Transmission's sitting a little low, at least the bottom part. We've got the yoke and everything there. So between that and then the fact that I'm going to get a new axle back there and lower the rear end of the car, I'm hoping I'm going to get pretty close to 1% on the angle. But for now, this will work to hold it up. Let me lower the car, move it, because they need to clean up and things like that. Plus rearrange the garage. So let's get this thing on the ground and just make sure everything checks out. And there we have it. Car's back on the ground. The front is sitting a little lower than it has in the past, but not too much. Or I might be delusional. Yeah, oil pan's pretty low, but I am planning on getting slightly bigger wheels. And I'll probably be raising it up. I cut the spring many moons ago. And I want to actually get coilovers. Or coilovers or something. And then, as you can tell, T-Rex, or not T-Rex, monster truck mode on the rear. That'll get addressed whenever I change out the rear end, hopefully this year. Because I'd like to have it running. Maybe not well, but running this year. So yeah. Thank you for watching. Like, subscribe, comment, whatever. Have a good day. Bye-bye.